know what I really hate? I hate when a stock reports earnings, whether it's after the close or before the open, and what do you see the stock do? It either tanks 10%, 15%, it's up 10, 15, 20%, and you're sitting there waiting to trade it at 9:30 in the morning. Let's talk Galaxy. Let's talk crypto. There's a lot of crypto news, a lot of good crypto news here. So I want to start with Galaxy, because Galaxy made a big announcement putting their stock on chain on Solana, which they're tokenizing. And Daniel, this is your favorite name. You've owned it for a long time. So, I'll let you start here. Pretty big news, right? Pretty big news for Galaxy.
Yeah, it's Daniel's really only name. So don't put all your eggs in one basket, Frank. If you do, watch the basket. Galaxy, everybody knows about this on our listeners. Hopefully our new listeners can get caught up. I know a lot of you guys own this. Big play in AI and blockchain. Frank, they partnered with Superstate. Now, Superstate is a company of Galaxy Ventures, okay? So it's a investment in there. But as Frank said, they put the Galaxy A shares on the first big public blockchain. That blockchain is Solana, S-O-L. And the big kicker here, Frank, is this is not a wrapper or synthetic model. This is a direct listing or a direct share that has the same shareholder rights and everything. So a quote here from CEO of Galaxy, Mike Novogratz, says, "We're proud to partner with these guys, laying the groundwork for on-chain." They want to make it clear this is the real Class A share, Frank. And what I thought was cool here is we talk about this, what's the benefits of blockchain and all that? Well, it's supposed to be cheaper, better, faster, transparent, 24/7. All that is true. The big hesitancy there, we got to get people to the platform. We'll talk about that in a moment. Frank, what stood out to me here is when you buy or sell, and they supposedly over 30,000 shares have been put on chain there. But when you buy or sell, it is automatically updated in the ledger of record of who holder, automatically anytime. That to me is a breakthrough. Is it a breakthrough to make the stock go up or down? Stock popped a little bit yesterday. The trading has not been good in my opinion, but I'm emotional about it. However, that update in real time is the difference maker in my opinion, because this is different than buying like Robinhood is coming out with, trying to give you exposure to the private markets and such. I thought this was a big deal. This also opens the door for more tokenization of everything, not just stocks. But Frank, we've been on the tokenization trend for a long time. Unfortunately, we've been early, which in our business means wrong. But that doesn't mean it's not a great idea. It also doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. And what I would ask you, Frank, is do you think this is just another kind of fun item to point to on the technology side, or do you think it's really going to get meat and take off?
It's going to get meat and take off. Not right away, but it is going to get meat and take off. And I could tell you, first of all, this is the first time ever a publicly traded company has tokenized an SEC registered equity directly on a major blockchain. It's the first time it's ever happened. Yes, you see Europe and stuff like that, but this is SEC registered equity, which is great through Superstate, like you mentioned. They're going to have all the traditional rights of shareholders is like owning shares, right? This isn't like, a synthetic thing that's, you don't own it. It's kind of you own it. No, you own shares, right? So they're tokenizing their stock in a Solana blockchain, which means Galaxy's is going to be able to trade those shares 24/7, and like you said, have near instant settlement. Now, why is that a big deal? I could tell you it's a big deal for me. You know what I really, really hate? I hate
3 days to get your money.
When a stock reports earnings, whether it's after the close or before the open, and what do you see the stock do? It either tanks 10%, 15%, it's up 10, 15, 20%, and you're sitting there waiting to trade at 9:30 in the morning, and you have all these insiders and the citadels who are able to trade where it's not as liquid, but liquid enough where you can get the hell out, have your strategies implemented. You could do that before the market opens with all your algorithms and all the bullshit and everything that's going on, and you make a fortune doing that, which is not available to the public. Okay, it's kind of like it was 20 years ago when conference calls were not available to the public. Now they're available to, imagine that, conference calls were only available to analysts. That's it. Right? You could not jump on that call. Now they're available real time to anyone who wants to go and listen. Transcripts are available immediately, all this stuff, right? Now 24/7, if you have your shares of Galaxy in a blockchain and they report good news and say the stock is, it's really good news, you could go into Solana, you can go on the blockchain, you could trade those shares, buy more, do whatever you want to do. Again, you're not there yet. It's going to be more of a bigger market going forward, but now you have the ability to trade these things as soon as they report news. You don't have to wait for the market to open, which especially if they announce after the close, you probably could have got out of today. You probably could have, if Salesforce was on a blockchain, you probably could have sold it down for 2%. It's down 6% right now, right? That's a big difference. Right? Or you could think, hey, maybe the news is not that good. I'm going to use that liquidity that's selling to really add my position here or build a position here. You have the ability to do that outside of market hours. It really F's up the algorithms, which is why Citadel is lobbying hard to prevent this because they make a fortune by basically front running the market. They're not the only firm. There's a lot of firms that do that. But tokenization is clearly gaining ground. This is a trend that I said would gain ground. It took a very, very long time. It's going to be huge because now you could go on one platform, not just to trade these stocks, but on the same platform, you're going to be able to trade privately traded stocks that are going to be offered on this platform. And that was us, right? Instead of investing in Curzio Research and it's a private company, you have no liquidity, we went on the tZERO platform. And this is a while ago, supposed to get liquidity. We can't talk about our stock. We can't say, hey, we can tell you the numbers. We're going to come out with numbers in a couple of weeks. Every 6 months, we report our numbers. They're going to be listed on tZERO for all of our shareholders. And then I'm going to come out, with pretty much a video talking about our numbers and stuff like that in a couple of weeks, right? An update of our company. But I can't tell anyone, just like Microsoft can't say, hey, you know what? Our stock's cheap here. You should buy it. So we rely on tZERO to do a lot of that. And tZERO has done a really shitty job. They failed miserably. And now some are calling for the CEO, David Goon, to be fired, not just because of lack of growth in tZERO.
And let me interrupt, not just some. Marcus Lemonis, owner of Bed Bath & Beyond, now that they changed their name, but they're a big owner in tZERO.
Yeah,
they own the blockchain assets. They're the ones writing the letter to the CEO of tZERO to resign. Sorry.
Yeah, and a lot has come out, including donations. He made huge donations to the Democratic Party, which some, I think one or two of them are controversial, which, I don't even care about the controversy and stuff like that. And I usually don't care who you donate to. But in this case, as someone who does business with tZERO, we have our token listed on their platform. You need to be friends with the president. You need to be friends with this administration, this pro-crypto blockchain administration. And Goon clearly is not. All right, so he's...
He ought to be at the Tech White House summit today.
I mean, 30 years, right? I mean, he should be traveling with Trump, but he's been around 30 years. He helped build New York Stock Exchange. I mean, he's been in this industry. He's introduced revolutionary products. And being on the right side of this, look what it's done for the Winklevoss twins, which are going to bring Gemini public soon. Look what it's done to CZ, founder of Binance, who's now perfectly fine. Everything's regardless of what you think of if they're criminals or if you hate them, you have to be in the right side of politics when it comes to this shit. And he's not. And it's hurting that platform. And it's personal to me because I'm like, wow, we trusted this platform. This platform is supposed to be the one. They were ahead of everyone. They're pioneers. But when you're on the right side, look what it's done to Brian Armstrong, Coinbase, right? Immediately, right? Got all that stuff, no more lawsuits.
You're talking lawsuits get dropped. And
Tron founder, Justin Sun, now he's part of World Liberty. We'll talk about that in a minute, which has been crashing. But tZERO should have 50 listed companies on its platform. Today, I'm one, I believe, of still 5 or 6 that are listed, and they don't even list them on the front page of their website. They make you sign up, go into this whole process, show your license, all this stuff, and then they'll show you, and there's little liquidity still. And I'm seeing no game plan to capture this market, even though they're a pioneer, the head of almost every other blockchain crypto firm when it comes to tokenization. They have the licenses, you have the platform, you had big backers, like you just said. What the fuck's the problem here? I mean, where are all the positive news announcements? Where's the growth initiatives, the new listings? And I understand that the last administration was a lot different. And you couldn't really do anything. You had your hands tied. I heard that not just from tZERO, but a lot of people in this industry, Winklevoss twins, all that stuff, that had their hands tied. They really couldn't do anything. Instead, this is a company that just helped raise money for a sham token whose model is to help market gold companies that's not generating any revenue. I mean, I looked and I said, okay, what does a token offer investors? Because ours offers an equity stake in our business. If we get bought out at a much higher valuation, you make money just like you would in a stock. You have an equity stake. If we pay special dividends, you're going to get paid special dividends. There's no equity in this. There's no revenue participation in this token, in that token. There's no dividend. I have no idea what it offers. I don't even know what the tZERO token offers. I have no idea what it offers. So why are you going to buy it for?
That's a tricky one too.
So, you have companies not generating revenue, not doing anything. Yet you have all these private companies that are dying for liquidity and you're sitting there with the number one platform. Why haven't you seen growth, positive announcements since November, since Trump got elected? Look at all the crypto announcements that we've seen across the board, everything, SEC coming out, all the positives. Get on the right side of this shit. It's important for your business. Regardless of politics, you have to be on the right side. If it's Biden, be on the Biden. If it's Democrats, be on the Democrat. Whatever it is, you have to be on the right side. You have a president that's 100% saying go all. He's creating his own freaking bullshit tokens. He's all in on crypto, Trump. He's all in. Be his friend. Travel with him. Look what it's doing for everyone who follows him in this industry. As someone that's on your platform that wants us to grow, please listen, because you haven't done shit And it's pissing me off, which is pissing my investors off as well, because we want liquidity. You want to be able to trade this. You should be able to trade in and out of it, whether you want to sell my stock or whether you want to buy it, our token. That should be your choice. And it's very hard without the liquidity there. So it's really personal to me. It's pissed me off, but maybe this guy does have to go. And this is a guy I've interviewed on my podcast several times. What's the positives? I've spoken to them probably a month and a half ago and said, okay, where's the growth initiatives? And I kind of tore them apart. I was like, why is there only 5 names on your platform? Why are we seeing liquidity? And they're like, well, there are no answers. I'm like, I don't have some kind of growth plan. I mean, this is why CEOs don't understand that your stock's traded on growth. That's it. It's not traded on valuation. It's traded on growth. That's what's going to earn you a premium multiple to the market. Okay. And how do you trade on that? Is when you have great ideas, when you have a future. Doesn't even matter if you're going to be wrong. Look at Elon Musk and robo-taxis. But he promised a lot when it comes to electric vehicles, and he delivered. I mean, people you'll never fit into that valuation. And it's a massive company now. Now it's Optimus, it's robotics, it's robo-taxis. But that's what people love. It's the future of this, where Ford and GM are like, should we still do EVs? Should we pull back? And they're talking about freaking robots, right? That's why you're looking at Tesla that's traded such a high multiple. People don't understand that. That's why these multiples, if you're looking at some of the bigger companies in AI in the future, why does Oklo trade? It generates no revenue. Was it $9 billion? I think it's a $9 billion market cap, right? Of a company that doesn't generate any revenue. And I just want to show this since I'm going on this rant right now, but let's look at UEC. UEC is like a 20-year-old company. Finally, everything going in its favor. You're going to start producing, right? America first, all this stuff with uranium energy and stuff like that. And here's a company that trades at a $5 billion valuation, compared to a company that's not generating revenue, because the future could be massive for that company, right? So if you're a CEO, you want to be talking about the future. You want to be talking about positive things. You want to talk about, what's going to happen 5 years from now? Why are we going to be a leader in this industry? And when I look at tZERO, I'm hearing nothing. What's the plan here? What's the plan? Because you're going to fall behind. Securitize already fell behind and took that money from Morgan Stanley and everybody else. And good for them. They want to go that route, which is not my route. That's why I came off that platform, because I believe this is for the small investor. And they're like, hey, let's cater to the Morgan Stanleys and everyone else who have these private companies that are dying to unleash their fucking shares to people who don't know better. And that's what Securitize is. Oh, you could invest in this and this, but you have to be an accredited investor now. F that. This is a market where DeFi, where decentralized, where the blockchain, get with the program here. And they haven't gotten with the program. They've had that same CEO the whole entire time. They need to do something, because right now what I'm doing is I'm calling Galaxy to see how I get, how can I partner with them? They're tokenizing. How do I partner with these other companies that see tokenization, where now you're going to be able to trade maybe 30, 40, 50 different of the largest securities, right? And then my security is going to be there, which is, again, we can't even say if it's a security or not because of these laws right now, right? And that's what tZERO, every time we actually do our due diligence with this company, Daniel, the language has to change because it's different language. I'm like, well, this is a token. Well, we can't really call it a token. What do you mean? I don't get it. So you're falling behind, and your biggest investors, when you lose your biggest investors, you better watch out. And you're losing your biggest investors because they're calling for your head because you haven't done anything. You have to do something here. And there's a guy I interviewed. It's not personal. Actually, it is very personal. I don't want to, just shout out and say this guy should be fired or retired, but clearly you have not benefited and you haven't really done anything, especially for us. Maybe you need to change the leadership, because you have all the licenses in place. You have the platform. You have the hardest part done. All you have to do is have the marketing and get out there and get some of these things listed on your platform, and you haven't been doing that. So it's very frustrating to me.
Yes, well said. Very frustrating.
Very
watch
frustrating.
It. We'll see what unfolds. But yeah, you can turn the ship around, but it's definitely been a drop in the ball.
I think you'll really love Wall Street Unplugged Premium. The Wall Street Unplugged Premium is my members-only podcast where I dive even deeper into this week's events. I'll tell you specifically what moves you can make today. Specific investment ideas I'm recommending and tracking each week. Also, the news we're picking up from our network of insiders. And becoming a member is super simple and super cheap. So head on over to WSUoffer.com to check it all out. Sign up today and you won't miss a thing. That's WSUoffer.com.